What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today's going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions in the last leg day video, and here they are written down on my computer, and I will answer all of them. I picked out some of the most relevant ones, the best ones, and ones I haven't answered yet, so I'll get that going. But first, I want to tell you guys that I appreciate the feedback on the short film build that I uploaded on the Vintage Genetics YouTube channel as well. A lot of positive feedback for sure, so I really recommend it that you watch that short film. It's only 12 minutes long. It's on the YouTube channel. It has been made by actually students as a graduation project for a film academy here in the Netherlands. So it was like a graduation thing they had to do to actually graduate from that university. So it's been a pretty amazing experience, and the result is even better than I hoped. By the way, for you guys who haven't seen it yet, I actually received this a couple of weeks ago. This is my personal iron idol, available on the website right here. Make sure to check it out. It's been a nice collaboration with them to be able to create this classic physique of mine, this identical physique. They really did a good job on it. Doing the side mantis pose, the regular mantis pose will be like this. This is like the side chest mantis pose. So it's been pretty amazing, and they were very nice in sending me prototypes, making sure that I agree with how they look. And this is the outcome. So go to the website if you are interested, but it's pretty amazing, and I'm just really happy with actually having received it physically. So thanks to them, and if you're interested, check out the website. There's other physiques on there as well from different Olympia contenders and different famous bodybuilders, so make sure to check them out. Anyway guys, let's get started on the first question. The first question by Modern Problem Modern Channel is, my question is, how are you planning to get to the next level conditioning like Breon, Cbum and other top pros to that bring it to the Olympia stage? Well, the thing is, you have to be very experienced getting that conditioning with a certain weight. The problem, it's not really a problem, but the issue that I've been having when I turned pro is that my weight limit actually increased. During the Royal London Pro, and I'm showing you pictures right here, my conditioning was top notch. If I reach that conditioning with the added mass I have right now, I'm sure I will end up much higher than previously. But I have to say, then I was only allowed to weigh 108 kilograms. Now I'm allowed to weigh 112 kilograms, which is a 4 kilogram difference and almost a 10 pounds difference between the two body weights. Before doing the Royal London Pro, I was actually heavier than that 108 kilograms, so I had to force myself to go down. And it had to, I had to go down, and I burned so much more fat than I think if I didn't have to go down to that body fat level, to that body weight level. So it forced me to get to that conditioning level. So the past, especially the Olympia, during the Olympia, I didn't reach the conditioning level because we wanted to get in fuller, and at the same time didn't really reach the peak. So two combinations didn't really hit the conditioning factor that well. However, during the Arnold Classic, I did shrink down a little bit more in terms of body weight. I did hit a very good conditioning, but then the fullness was missing. So now I figured out that I simply need to add a little bit more muscle to my frame, not having to worry about the body weight, reaching the body weight limit or getting too far below it. Just be a nice proportionate physique with bigger legs, more muscle mass in total, allow me to burn off all the fat necessary and still look full and pumped with that conditioning. There is no real secret to conditioning, it's only consistency. Starting the diet early on. I started during the Arnold Classic doing that diet earlier and sooner compared to the Mr. Olympia, and you could really see that in the conditioning that I showed. But this time, when I'm doing the next contest, I will start even earlier, but then slow it down at the beginning so I can actually have a bigger stretch of time, losing the fat slowly and then ramping up the cardio at the very end, because you don't want to do the cardio all the time if your legs are a weaker point. You want to keep them nice and full. So No matter what, I will gain those kilograms of pure muscle and then come down to a conditioning level you have never seen before. And mostly it's not only about the body fat but also about the water weight. You have to shed all the water beneath the skin. So all it takes is a good water balance, sodium balance, and making sure that the water is beneath the skin, gone, and inside the muscle cell. That is what's about, to show a fullness in the muscle and conditioning of the skin. The best combination of both. Next question by Vadirai Vayu. I noticed that you hit most of the poses which Arnold used to hit, but I think you also hit other poses like crucifix and victory pose and even most muscular pose because you have a great set of arms and upper body. Will you hit them next time on the stage? I agree that I use a lot of poses Arnold used to hit, partly because he's one of the only bodybuilders of my height with also, of course, a classic physique of the past, which I really look up to. And that's why I try, I have the same problem as he did, having a wider, well, not a wide waist, but a wider waist in comparison to all of those genetically gifted guys on a top level. So you have to play around with poses to show your waist from the side and 3/4 more to have your dominant upper body still look full, but your waist look really small. So that's why I like to, take inspiration from how Arnold used to pose. But at the same time, I recognize I'm not Arnold at all. I just take inspiration from how he used to do it, and I'm going to make everything my own. So definitely, I really love the crucifix pose. I actually did it in several guest posings already. The victory pose I'm going to implement probably in my next posing routine, because it is a great way to showcase good arms as well. But I probably will hit it in my own specific way. And the most muscular pose, the actual, this most muscular pose, not this one because I don't like this one, not the crap one, but the symmetrical one I really like to do. I already do that one during most of my posing routines, so that one I will definitely do. Next question by Tech Chief. What are your thoughts on the abductor machine? It really helps to bring out the inner thighs. Sean Roden's quads are a little smaller than Phil Heath's, but because Sean has great inner thighs, it creates an illusion of him having bigger quads than Phil's. You are entirely right. I want to have bigger inner thighs, and if we had more space in the gym, I would have purchased the abductor machine a long time ago. I used to use it in different gyms as well, and I actually, that's the weird thing about my body. Every weak point in my body is very strong, so I always used to max out every single abductor machines, even if they were plate loaded, even doing them paused for 20 reps, pause it here at the most difficult part, go slow on the eccentric and fast on the concentric, using every single trick in the book. And but the thing is, you have to do it consistently. However, doing heavy squats is also very good for the abductors. So the abductors are the inner thighs, and when you do squats to balance, to keep your legs straight, sometimes when you hit a heavy weight, your knees actually go inwards. That tells you that the abductor muscles are really contracting very hard to keep your legs in balance to aid in the lift. So doing heavy squats will already create those inner thighs if you go deep enough as well. So I'm going to keep doing those along with sumo squats, hitting the inner thighs, and sumo leg presses at the same time. Next question by Error 404. I've seen a lot of people complaining that your hams are weak because you don't do deadlifts. What are your thoughts in that? My thoughts are that I'm already doing Romanian deadlifts for the hamstrings. However, if I'm honest, I haven't been doing them long enough yet. I used to do a lot of stiff leg deadlifts in the past. I've been doing those for years. But recently, well, the last couple of months, I've been doing Romanian deadlifts quite heavily. And the first time I did them, I made the mistake of going too heavy too quick. And the weird thing is I was able to do 10 reps of a very heavy weight quite easily, but the 11th rep, I wanted to go, pretty much close to failure. I kind of injured my right hamstring, almost to the point where I almost couldn't stretch my leg anymore. So that is something I don't want to experience anymore. So I have been doing the Romanian deadlifts again, but with very heavy dumbbells, and I'll start doing the barbell again. And it's all part, has to do with form, of course, and letting the hamstrings get used to a heavy weight like that, because the Romanian deadlift is pretty much the heaviest kind of movement you can do for the hamstrings. You overload them with the most weight. So I will keep doing them. I do believe that Romanian deadlifts are better than regular deadlifts for the hamstrings though, so I will definitely keep doing them pretty much every single leg workout, apart from some exceptions where I'm not able to do them. Next question by Tony Rocha. Big fan of yours, coming from the USA. I appreciate that. Could your clothing be purchased in the USA? Yes, they can. The clothing, the Vintage Genetics clothing right here, and by the way, I'm sweating because I just did work out the back, but they are available all over the world. We ship worldwide, and we are based in the Netherlands, but on the vintagegenetics.com you can check out all the clothing, the training gear, and even the workout and nutrition plans and my coaching, to just check out all the items that are there. And we do ship worldwide. Every single old school clothing item you can imagine, we try to keep in stock on the website. Next question by Jersey. How important is it to switch up the order of the exercises from a workout to another? If yes, how often should you do it? What are the best moments of the day? Oh, that's another question actually. So first question actually, should you change up the order of the exercises? In my opinion, you should stick to the basics that work, that you feel. We are bodybuilders, so what we want to do is not only move the weight from point A to point B, but feel the muscle while you're moving it from point A to point B. So feeling the muscle is different for everybody. So for example, some people don't really feel it doing a wide grip lat pull down. They don't really feel the back, but doing an underhand lat pull down, they do feel it. Almost the same movement, hitting slightly different muscles from different angles. But if you feel the underhand pull down so much more than the wide grip pull down, why would you even consider doing the wide grip just to spice it up? When you are an experienced bodybuilder, I've been doing it for, let's see, 13 years, training consistently, never taking a break. I simply realized that some exercises that you do not feel very well, you should simply not do. Try them out a couple of times, make sure your form is okay, make sure you're really getting into the muscle. But if it's too difficult to feel the muscles working, simply do an exercise that is similar, but you do feel the muscle working. That is simply the best advice I can give you as a bodybuilder. Some people don't feel the regular barbell curl, for example, they feel it in their front delts too much, but doing dumbbell curls, they feel it very much. So they both work the biceps. The biceps are another complicated muscle. So do the exercises that you feel. So if your question is that you should only stick to a certain set of exercises for a very long time, I do agree there should be a foundation in every single workout of doing 2 to 3 exercises every single time to make sure you increase the progressive overload, to make sure you increase the weight every single time to actually get stronger and build muscle and build strength in that exercise. The stronger you are in an exercise, the more muscle you can destroy and build. But then you can switch it up with 2 extra exercises that you also feel in the muscle, but that won't interfere with the rest. So don't make it too complicated, only do exercises that you feel. Alright, next question by you was, what are the best moments of the day to have protein intakes? The best moments that actually have been proven that protein timing does matter is that taking, when they do a study about protein intake, it's always with whey protein, because that is the best absorbable, fastest absorbable, and most tested protein out there, so they know it works. So when they tested people just having the same protein amount, 200 grams in a day, and other people also 200 grams in a day, but then specifically also having whey protein before and after the workout, those people did grow and build more muscle. So having protein around the workout, at least around the workout, does increase muscle protein synthesis or muscle building. And the best, easiest way to do that is with whey protein. So supplements are, what they say, supplemental to the diet, but at the same time, they are very convenient when you can time them very well. It's very difficult to eat a steak or a plate of fish or chicken just half an hour before working out. It's much easier to take just a shake of 30 grams of whey protein before working out and really not having a full stomach, but already having the amino acids flow into your bloodstream, allowing for the muscle growth to occur. And then post-workout you can do it again, and then after that you can have the complete meals. The meals need to be the basis of your protein intake during the day, preferably every 2 to 3 hours, because then you can activate the muscle protein synthesis every single time. But around the workout you need faster absorbable protein to not interfere with the workout and allow you to still reap the benefits of the muscle protein synthesis. So my advice is to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and around the workout a faster digestible protein to maximize muscle growth. Next question by Brett D. Since you are an expert on the subject, I was wondering what your thoughts are on Stan Efferding's vertical diet, since it involves many of the same things you recommend, such as high salt intake and low FODMAP foods for easy digestion. Stan Efferding is a very smart bodybuilder. I've been following him for quite some time, and I am a fan of his vertical diet, at least in terms of his logic behind it. A high salt intake, which he has realized as well by actually having looked up hundreds of relevant studies saying and telling you that a high salt intake is better than a low salt intake on pretty much every single level, especially for athletes. It's just a very smart realization to have. Don't be afraid of salt. So take salt like this. You see, you have two different kinds of salt. You have this white, useless table salt, just the sodium without the minerals. That's why it's white, devoid of anything else but sodium. And when it has a color like this, the Himalayan salt, that means that extra minerals are in there. Of course, there's some white in there, some pink in there, some red in there, some brown. It's all correspondent to a different mineral like magnesium, iron, copper, etc. So those are included in the Himalayan pink salt, and that will actually balance everything out much better. So you don't only need the sodium. A lot of people think, well, salt is sodium, but salt is also a lot of different minerals which you need. So it's important to uptake your mineral level a lot higher than most people do, because you simply expend them in your metabolism, when you're metabolizing food, when you're working out, every single movement, whenever you sweat, you lose and use up all those minerals. And to replenish them, you need a diet high in content of them. And then another thing is about the digestion, the FODMAP foods. I agree as well, especially when you're bulking, you need to have a lot of food inside of you. You want your digestion to be optimal, so you actually will be hungry the next meal, instead of not really wanting to eat that meal because you still feel full. When you feel full, that means you don't have enough digestive enzymes to digest the food, and it's more difficult for your body to absorb it because there's too many gas and other stuff in the way, because it's the wrong food for you to digest. The bacteria in your gut cannot properly ferment it, cannot properly digest it, and it creates gases and other byproducts which block the absorption. So low FODMAP foods, which basically means foods low in certain carbohydrates and fiber that irritate your gut, are much better for digestion. And that's just one of the few things that Stan Efferding advises in his vertical diet, which I do agree with. And the last question of the day by Margarito Coloco. Tips for falling asleep with a significant V-taper. Well, that's an interesting question. When I read it, I actually could, relate to it as well. Because just imagine if you're laying on your side, which is, by the way, proven to be the better way compared to on your belly or on your back. The problem is when you lay on your side, look, here's my shoulder, here's the mattress, and where does my head go? It's not even reaching the mattress yet without a pillow. So the best advice I can give you, I have 2 pillows stacked up, and they both are of a firm material. So especially if wide shoulders, which he's talking about a good V taper, so you have a lot of space in between your shoulder and your head, this needs to be supported as much as your shoulder at the same time to have the same amount of pressure everywhere, aligning your spine. Otherwise your neck will be messed up, your spine will be messed up, and it won't be good for your shoulders either. Too much pressure on there. actually which causes a lot of shoulder problems and injuries in people who don't even realize it. But you need a pillow that is has the same space, amount of density in between your head and your shoulder. When you lay in a pillow and the pressure is the same here as on your shoulder, you know that you have the right pillow. I personally have to use 2 of them with memory foam, so harder pillows, not the soft ones where you sink into. So relatively small in size but high in height, and a thick, dense material I really like, and it really allows you to sleep a lot more comfortably, because sleep is very important for recovery and building that muscle, which is what we need as a bodybuilder. Alright guys, this was the Q&A of the day, and you can already ask me some more questions if you want in this video. I will already be writing them down on my computer right here, and next time you might actually have your question answered. And I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay